Welcome to AgritourismIdeas.com. It's Mike and Jamie here again. Today we're going to tell you about how to build a rolling pipe slide. Now, these rolling pipe slides can be used in a variety of areas. You can have it coming off your hay pyramid, off a platform, or even right off the ground if you live in a hilly area. Now, to build one of these, it's going to cost about $800 in materials. That may sound like a lot, but it's a very unique attraction. It's not your typical slide. People want to get on and try it out, and it looks great on your brochure as well. $800 might sound like a lot of money, but we also encourage you to go after a sponsor. Find somebody, either a plumbing sponsor or a Home Depot or somebody like that, who will donate the materials in order to have their name on your slide as being your sponsor.
Pipe slide, we're going to have many stages of showing you how to build this, but let's start right now with the sides of your pipe slide, because you're going to have two 2x10s that run along each side. Here we have them laid out, because what we're going to do is we're going to measure down 3 inches from both sides, from the tops, and we're also going to measure in and drill every 4 1/4 inches, because as we move along you'll see that the actual pipes and the pipes that go in the middle of them will be drilled or inserted in the holes that we drill along the entire length of both of these boards. So let's start there and we'll move on from there. As you can see, we got everything drilled. We're 3 inches down from the tops, 4 1/4 inch spacing on all our holes. These are 16-foot 2x10s, by the way, and they are not pressure treated. So we recommend, you're going to be outdoors all the time, make sure you use pressure treated lumber. We're going to move these sides down to the ground, and now we're going to use some cross bracing, so we'll move on from there.
Okay, here we have the bottom of our pipe slide. We put 42-inch 2x4s on 2-foot centers for cross bracing, and then we use 2x6s for some angle bracing. That'll keep everything square and keep things from twisting when you have to move it with your skid steer or front end loader.
Next thing we're going to do is take some of this electrical conduit. This is going to run through the middle of our PVC to make the pipe slide. We're going to cut these to length to go between the holes we've already drilled in the sides of our slide. So if you have a grinder, a cut-off wheel with that, or even better yet, a chop saw with a metal blade, that'll be great for cutting these, because we're going to go cut about 45 of these.
All right, now we've cut 45 of these, and now we're ready to create our PVC rollers. This is just your standard 3-inch PVC that you can get at any Home Depot, Lowe's, Menards, or any plumbing supply place as well. We are going to be cutting these to 39 3/4. What the overall dimension is going to need to match the inside of our box, which right now is 42 inches. So we're going to make these 39 3/4 to account for our caps. And Mike's going to talk a little bit more about the cap selection.
There's a couple different kinds of caps in the 3-inch PVC. One has a rounded top and one has a flat top. We've cut all of our rollers to go with these rounded tops and recommend these because there's less friction. These are going to be going between the two sides of your box that make up your slide. So you want less friction where they meet the sides. If you end up having to use these, you'll have to use some kind of a washer or a spacer between the end of your roller and the side of your box slide so that there is not friction there. We're going to explain to you now how to cut up the PVC to the proper length. We're going to put the caps on. We're going to drill these holes, which is where these metal conduits are going to slide through to make your rollers roll on your slide. So that's what you're going to see us do next.
All right, so here we have our 3-inch PVC, and we need to have, for this particular 16-foot length pipe slide, we're going to need 45 39 3/4 inch lengths. So that means we're going to need 15 of these 3-inch PVCs, and that'll be on the material list, which you'll find in the link in the description of this video. So I'm going to proceed now to take this and cut it to 39 3/4, 45 times, And we're just using a typical old compound miter saw with a normal wood blade in it. There's other tools out there you could use, including a skill saw if you wanted to. So here we go.
Okay, time to move along with our pipes as we build them. We've already cut our PVC. Now we're going to drill our caps, and we've got it in a drill press this time. You can use your drill and a 3/4 bit. This makes it go a lot quicker when you have a lot of them to do. Just make sure you have some type of jig to make sure it's centered, and make sure you have the right size bit again, which is 3/4. We have a flat topped cap this time that we're demonstrating. This seems to be the most common, but again, we recommend that you try to find the dome lids when you're drilling your caps.
All right, we're getting there. Now we have 45 of our PVC sections, and we have 90 of our domed caps with holes drilled in them. The next step is you simply pop on your caps, tap them down so they're nice and snug. And there you have it. Now we're ready to start assembling them into our frame. So here we go.
Okay, we've got our pipes assembled. The caps are on. We're going to show you one pipe and how we install it. It will fit between, if we've cut them the right length, it will fit between your two sideboards. And then we're going to slide our piece of electrical conduit through the hole and out the other side.
We're in our home stretch here. We've got all the pipes in place. Our next step is to ensure that these pipes don't slide out one side or the other. Is to take either a 1x4, or you can rip down pressure treated plywood, whatever you have on hand that actually acts as a cap for the conduit so it doesn't slide in or out. We're going to use screws. It makes it easier to do maintenance if you ever have to replace one of these for some reason. They're very durable. The ones that we've had and used for years, we put them together once and never had to touch them again. So it's one of those activities that lasts forever. Okay, here we go.
Done capping the ends of the pipe slide where the conduit was sliding out before. No longer able to do that. We're at the point now where we need to move it, decide where we're going to put it. You have a lot of options. You have the option of building your own platform, maybe running it off a hay pyramid if you have one of those at your venue, or even just using the side of a hill and using the slope of that to make your pipe slide work. You need to discover the sweet spot where it allows a 2-year-old, 30-pound child to go down at a good speed as well as an adult. We're going to simulate that today using a front end loader. We're going to raise it up and try to find that sweet spot, as well as demonstrate the fact that putting side rails on and the need to have a safety rail as well. So we'll go from here now, get our front end loader, and move on from there.
All right, here we are. You ready too? All right. We're using the front end loader here to try to get an idea of what the correct height is. And as we mentioned before, you want to try to find kind of your smallest clientele to test it out. So this is Ella. Say hi, Ella. Ella's going to be our test. She's my daughter, and she's 5 years old. So she's about the right weight and height for a good test model here. So we're going to put her up and see how fast she goes down the slide here. Ready? Go! So as you can see, that's about a perfect speed for somebody her age. You don't want her just cranking down this slide. The older and heavier you get, the faster that you'll slide down. So I'm going to hop up there and show you what a 230 plus pound person does on the way down. As you'll see, the heavier you are, the faster you go. But still at a safe speed as far as what we've experienced in the past. in the several years we've run one of these at our maze, we never had an injury because people think you can get your fingers pinched, but since all the rollers are going the same direction, that is typically not an issue. All right, so our next step is, now that we've kind of determined the height, we're going to add some safety rails here to keep people from climbing up over the edge or falling off the edge. So here we go.
All right, we've wrapped up our pipe slide. We just want you to see what we did last. These are our safety rails, and as you can see, they're attached to these 4x4s. This is all going to depend on where you use this. If you use it on a hill, you're going to use a little bit different method for these side posts. You'll see at the end that our safety rails are not tied into anything at this point, because most commonly this will be set up onto a platform, and that end of that safety rail will tie into your existing safety rails on your platform, which you'll need to have on that as well. One thing we have not done, which we would recommend highly that you do, is use a lag bolt with a washer and lag these safety rails into your 4x4 so that they are secure. Right now we have about an 8-inch gap between these bottom and top rails. That will keep kids from being able to fall off from the slide, and we recommend at least a 2x6 for this top safety rail.
All right, well, that wraps it up for today. Be sure to stop by our site, agritourismideas.com, for other great how-to videos and blog posts and podcasts and all kinds of other great resources. See you next time.